from you day in and day out. You're in a vicious cycle, trying to lose weight, doing all the right things, and nothing seems to work. There's only one way out. Send your metabolism into overdrive. Dietitian Yashni Koff is here to show you how with her world's best metabolism boosters. Some of these are going to stun you. So first off, why do so many women struggle with their metabolism?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's the obvious. There's diet and exercise. We talk about it a lot, but, you know, age does hit you. Stress definitely hits you. A lot of lifestyle stuff. So there's a lot of things that we need to work on, and fortunately, we have some great examples of some things that you can do in your diet.
All right, get us going with the first one.
Absolutely.
Big-time metabolism booster here, folks, and this confused me for a long time, but please explain it to all of us.
This is huge. So we've heard of cocoa before. This is cacao. So they kind of look the same if we're looking at them, but cacao is actually where chocolate comes from. So cacao has this really rich history in terms of metabolic boosting. It comes from a fruit. You open up the fruit, it kind of looks like a coconut.
This is what it looks like, by the way. This, again, I spent hours trying to figure this darn thing out. I thought there were different species.
It's green there, and then it can be a little bit darker. Sometimes it stays that green. And then you open it up, there's a white flesh, and then there are these pods in there. You crack open a pod, and there are these nibs. And that is chocolate.
Cacao nibs, not ribs.
Cacao nibs.
Nibs.
Right. And you'll see on things it'll say raw cacao nibs because it literally means all we're doing is cracking it open. Now, does that taste like the chocolate that you eat?
I mean, there's a chocolate essence to it, but it's not sweet at all.
Right, exactly. So the idea here is, and what gives it that great metabolic boost, is it naturally has stimulants. It has the world's richest source of magnesium, so it's fantastic for you in terms of the body. But that isn't going to be the chocolate that we eat. This is so easy. I mean, you can just literally grab a handful, and if you have a handful of it, 1 to 2 tablespoons, I have to tell you, I actually tell people to make sure that you're having it in the morning or that you're having it in, say, by the middle of the afternoon, because that's a pretty powerful stimulant boost, and that stimulant is the metabolic boost that you're getting.
I'm buzzed already.
You can, yeah, exactly, right? You're just like, have a little bit of it.
I'm not kidding.
You can make it, you're like, I feel it, I feel it. It's not caffeine, but it is a stimulant boost.
Okay, the next metabolic booster is oolong tea. We have talked a little bit about oolong tea in the past, but you have a much better understanding about this than I do, Ashley, so please explain it.
To me, it's absolutely fascinating. What is great about oolong tea is that it actually goes in and prevents fats from being absorbed in the body. The interesting thing there is that when we hear about chemicals that might prevent fat from being absorbed, we worry about, well, what about the fat-soluble vitamins? It doesn't do that here. So what we're doing here is we're actually preventing the formation of the triglycerides. You talk all the time about the negative side of triglycerides. Right. So here you actually have a tremendous benefit. The key here is drinking just 1 glass of oolong tea has been shown to increase your caloric burn in the hour afterwards. Think about that. If you think about what the average American eats, that's going to end up being 100 calories a day. That's going to end up being 10 pounds a year. 10 pounds a year if you want to take it off.
Who wants some tea?
Well, we're like, hold on.
I'll toast for 10 pounds a year.
Yeah, exactly. And interestingly, if you think about it, that's just adding the oolong tea. And now think about if we swap the oolong tea for some of our other caloric beverages. Right there, people are always saying to me, how can I make a 100 or a 200 calorie difference to get that weight off? Very, very simple. Okay, now let's move to a third item. This is not a food, but you can rev your metabolism up big time with GTF chromium supplements. Right. So the thing to think about with chromium, and the GTF stands for glucose tolerance factor. So it's giving us an indication of how it's going to be a metabolic booster so that our cells get what they need to actually be using it. So forget about the sugar waiting in the bloodstream, and it's now actually entering into our cells.
I was doing my homework for the show, reading about this. It's sort of like a fuel injector system. And it just supercharges the ability of your cells to burn through calories, which ultimately is what a metabolism booster is about. Whenever I see metabolism booster on an internet site, I immediately take a step back. This one actually does make sense. How do you get it reputably? What dose? What should it cost?
Yeah, pretty powerful. So I would look on the label for GTF chromium. I always look on supplements for organic, non-GMO. I'm just looking for the best quality. You want to get it from that form. But if you look for the GTF chromium, and then look for a dosage of about 200 micrograms. So avoid the milligram, the gram, microgram, mcg, and then consider taking it 1 to 2 times in a day. You can do it that way.
Encyclopedic knowledge. Ashley Koff. She had a brand new book out called Mom Energy, A Simple Plan to Live Fully Charged. Some bookstores now pick it up. Thank you very much.